Hello everyone. This was my broth that I made last night. I'm just going to take my fine mesh strainer, and it's been sitting a while, probably 20-ish hours, 22. It's just, I got to it really late. So, just going to get all this big stuff out of here. I put it through this fine mesh strainer. I got a bigger strainer on the bottom just in case, but it also helps hold it up. And then any extra bits that fall in, just in case I don't aim properly. I made a mess. Got my broth done. I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave so it stays warm. Also, in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start up my pressure canner. Just gonna turn it on, that way it starts warming up. Got about 2 inches of water in there. Went ahead, put the bottom rack on there. You definitely want that on so your jars, when it boils, it doesn't rattle and shake and break your glasses. I mean your jars. Got my big bowl of chicken here. And you can can chicken without bone. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and start stuffing my chicken in my jars. So I got 4 cans of the wide mouth quart jars, the chicken drumsticks, and then I got 2 quarts of broth. So now I'm just going to go in and debubble now. You want about 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches or 1 1/4 inch headspace. Take my rag. To throw away, baby.
Okay, I can't wait to the garbage though.
Remember, we found out you can. Put the lids on. Finger tight only. No cranking. Once again. I'm gonna need. I'm gonna load these up into my pressure canner.
Mom.
Awesome.
It's almost sparkling heat.
Nice. Alrighty, lovelies. So I had to sit down on my feet, so I guess I can tell you sitting down. I went ahead and I put obviously my food in my jars. And since they are quart jars and I put bone in them, I'm gonna do mine for 75 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes at 11 psi or 11 pounds of pressure. So when you're talking about pounds of pressure or psi, mine is 11 pounds because I am at a little over 1,000. Wow. My elevation is a little over 1,000. We'll put it that way. So for instance, this is from the Ball book. This is the one I have. I'm using. So the pressure canner altitude adjustments, altitude in feet, 0 to 1,000. Your weighted gauge will be 10 or your dial gauge at 11 psi. Your altitude in feet for 1,001 to 2,000, you're going to have the weighted gauge for 15 or a dial gauge at 11. 2,001 to 4,000, your weighted gauge will be 15 and your dial gauge 12 psi. 4,001 to 6,000, your weighted gauge is going to be 15 and your dial gauge is going to be 13 psi. 6,001 to 8,000, you have a weighted gauge 15, dial gauge 14 psi, and 8,001 to 10,000, 15, your dial gauge 15 psi. So everything that I just read off is right here. It's all in the actual Ball preserving book, and it also goes into if you're the boiling water method. If you see that, all that is water bath canning. I'm not going to get into that one because we're not water bath canning. We have to use a pressure canner because these are low acidic foods, and this is what helps keep this food safe. Sorry, this is me going back and forth checking on my pressure canner over there, making sure that the weight, the PSI is just fine, the pressure. And so what happens with the pressure canner is that the boiling, so it has to be above boiling point to get rid of botulism and all of the nasties. So since these are acidic foods, it has to be up above that temperature for so long with certain pressure, and that's what a pressure canner does. So it gets all that pressure inside and it heats up for so long and it just kills it all. So that is what happens with that in layman terms. There's a lot of fancy words to it, but that's pretty much what it boils down to. So let's see, I went ahead and I put some jars of broth in there as well. Broth takes a lot less time. So if I was to do broth, yeah, so the broth itself, 4 quart jars, is 25 minutes. Obviously I'm going above that. I have 75 minutes on it. Will it kill a little bit of the nutrients? Maybe. But I didn't want to have an empty space if I'm only going to have, it was either 3 or 4 quart jars of the chicken. This is what I'm doing so I can preserve my food and I'm not wasting just a whole bunch of time and effort into this. If that makes sense. Eating some stew here. With some of that canned meat that I did. It's really good. It's just so tender, and like, you might not be able to see it. Kind of looks like mush but on the camera, but it's just shredded is what it is. And I put a little bit of half and half and might give it a creamier texture, but it does, it turns to old meat, and it's really good. Okay, so my timer just went off for my pressure canner. I'm going to go ahead, take that off, and then I'm going to wait 5 minutes, let it set take it off, wait 10, and take them out. Okay, if any of you made it this far in the video, okay, so if any of you made it this far in the video, would you like to open the pressure canner with me and see the beauty that we have? You know, I even told myself not to forget the vinegar. I think I'm gonna have to take it down and just put it on my counter because I just keep forgetting about it. Oh, just so you guys know, right there, I put my bones back in for a second round of broth. I went ahead, left the old veggies in there, but I also put new veggies in there too. So I'm also going to take my pressure canner, not my pressure canner, my dehydrator, and I'm just going to move those around to get evenly. We paid off. I feel like taking a selfie every time with my creations. Anyways, these will all stay here for 12 to 24 hours, and then I'll go and try and pop them. Aren't they beautiful? Anyways, thank you, lovelies, you beautiful people, you beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.